All right, it's April 22nd, and this is your briefing. We're going to cut right through the noise and cover what actually matters in AI and crypto this week. And we're going to wrap up with a full 30-day action plan you can actually start using today.
Okay, let's get right into it. First up, the biggest deal in AI tools this week, Anthropic's Opus 4.7, which just dropped on April 16th. We're going to break down what happened, why it matters, and what you should do about it.
So what's the headline? Anthropic just dropped a 1 million token context window. Okay, but what does that actually mean? It means you can feed the AI 750,000 words at once. That's like your entire project history, a whole research archive, heck, a full novel, all in one single chat. This completely changes the game for the kinds of problems you can tackle.
And that's not all. They also tripled its vision resolution, jumping from 1568 to 2576 pixels. And why should you care? Because this makes analyzing super complex financial charts, those dense diagrams or scanned documents, not just something you can do, but something you can do with scary accuracy. It's going to see the details you might miss.
Okay, but here's the really cool part. It's not just about one feature. It's how all 5 of these upgrades work together. You've got self-correcting reasoning, so it catches its own mistakes, an X-high effort mode for when you need deep analysis, that huge context window and the better vision we just talked about, and an advisor tool to help scale it all. Look, these aren't just small updates. We're talking about a massive leap in what this thing can actually do.
So what do you do with this, like today? Here's your 4-step plan. Super simple. First, make it show you its work. Tell it to show its reasoning and flag corrections. Second, find a problem that usually takes you more than 2 hours and throw the X high effort mode at it. Third, max out that context window with the biggest, ugliest document you work with. And fourth, feed it a complex chart and ask it to tell you the story behind the data.
Okay, so you've got all this power. How do you actually use it? It really boils down to 2 main tools, OpenClaw and Claude Code Channels. Here's how you decide super fast. Go with OpenClaw if you need flexibility, if you need to plug into different models and use it on apps like WhatsApp. But if you're doing deep, serious professional work and you want max security with a setup that takes like 15 minutes, Claude Code Channels is a no-brainer.
All right, let's pull back and look at the whole playing field. As of today, you've got Anthropic absolutely killing it on safety and financial benchmarks. We're talking a projected $30 billion in annualized revenue. OpenAI, still the 800-pound gorilla, with a staggering $730 billion valuation and all the developer mindshare. Don't sleep on Google's Gemini. It's crushing performance tests. Meanwhile, xAI is teasing this monster 6 trillion parameter model, and then you have Z.AI proving you can build top-tier AI without a single NVIDIA chip. That's huge.
If you want to understand just how fast this market is moving, you have to look at this company, Recursive Superintelligence. Get this, it's a tiny 20-person company. They were founded on New Year's Eve of 2025, just a few months ago. And this week, they just raised $500 million at a $4 billion valuation. Their entire pitch, AI that improves itself with 0 human involvement. Think about that.
Okay, so that's the AI tool landscape. Now let's shift gears and see how this is all playing out in the crypto markets. Here's your live snapshot. And look, the broader market is definitely spooked right now, but we're seeing some really interesting moves in the AI corner. Keep an eye on FET. It's compressing. RNDR's revenue numbers are looking strong, but the big story, the thing we're going to focus on, is the price action on Tau.
So what the heck happened with BitTensor? Well, on April 10th, this big player called Covenant AI just dumped $10.2 million worth of Tau onto the market. Bam! The price immediately cratered about 20%. And the reason they gave? They were worried about centralized control, which basically kicked off a massive governance crisis for what's supposed to be a decentralized AI network.
So why is this so important? Because the network didn't just issue some flimsy press release. The response was cryptographic. It was structural. Just 6 days later, on April 16th, they rolled out something called the conviction mechanism. Basically, you now have to lock up your Tau to get voting rights. It's a genius move, really. It's a structural fix that rewards long-term conviction and cuts right to the heart of the problem.
And you better believe the big money noticed. Check this out. Grayscale just made its biggest single asset reallocation ever, pouring 43% of its AI fund straight into Tau. And if that wasn't enough, both Grayscale and Bitwise have now filed for spot Tau ETFs. This might just be the single biggest institutional signal we've seen in the AI crypto space all year.
And this all points to the big picture thesis here. Think about it. In the first quarter, when the market was bleeding out, most of crypto dropped 30, even 60%. But AI tokens?
they only fell about 14%. That's selective resilience. That's the real story here. It's telling us that infrastructure with actual, real-world utility just behaves differently when people are scared.
Okay, enough talk. What should you do? Here's your 30-day plan, broken down week by week. Week 1 is all about getting your AI infrastructure set up. Day 1, get Claude code channels on Telegram. It takes 15 minutes. Day 2, use that X-high effort mode on a real problem. Day 3, test the free GLM model so you know when it's worth paying for premium. And by day 7, use your new setup to run a fundamental scan on an AI project.
Week 2, we build your intelligence layer. This is how you stay ahead. Set an alert for TAO at its $240 support level. Put August 2026 on your calendar now. That's the SEC's deadline for the TAO ETF, and it's a huge event. Keep an eye on RNDR at the $1.95 level as your key momentum signal for the whole sector. Then, use your AI tools to run a competitive analysis on TAO, RNDR, and FET.
All right, week 3 is where you level up your skills. I need you to stop writing prompts and start writing multi-step agent tasks. It's a different league. Then, grab that monster document you've been putting off and feed it to the 1 million token window. And seriously, you need to read the full BitTensor conviction mechanism proposal. Understanding this stuff is what's going to separate you from the pack in 2026.
And finally, week 4. This is about positioning yourself for the next 6 months. You need to make a call. Are you focused on centralized, open, or decentralized AI? Start tracking what recursive superintelligence is doing. And the big one, decide what your role is. Are you a builder, a contributor, or an investor? You have to pick one and go deep. That is the single most valuable thing you can do.
So let's wrap this up. What's the main takeaway? 2 words: selective resilience. When everyone else is running for the hills, the AI crypto sector is holding its ground differently. That's not just random noise. That is a massive signal, and the institutions are paying close attention.
And the story within that story? It's all about governance. What happened with BitTensor, the crisis, and more importantly, the cryptographic response? It's not just drama. It's a live-fire stress test for the future of every decentralized AI network out there. How this ends is going to be a lesson for everyone. And look, I want to leave you with this. I know when you see all this happening so fast, it's so easy to feel like you're behind, like you've missed the boat. I'm telling you, you haven't. You are not late. You are still so early. But now is the time to get serious.
So, I'm going to leave you with one question to think about this week. Are you going to be building on this tech, contributing to it, or investing in its infrastructure? They're all good answers, but the future belongs to the people who pick a lane and commit. So, which one is it for you? Think about it. We'll talk next week.